My Onkyo is still not giving an LFE tone now from the Spatial Audio Toolkit. First my MacBook, and now my PS5 playing the disc. Works fine on a Marantz.
Okay. So on your MacBook, if it's not a 7.1, it's just it ignores the 0.1, right? So if you listen on headphones, it just ignores 0.1 for the most part. I don't know how the Apple ones, maybe the Apple ones do, because it probably thinks it's an actual, like, 7.1. It probably tricks the system into thinking that. But pretty much anything else, if it down mixes to, something that doesn't include LFE, it just ignores the LFE. So I don't know how your Onkyo is set up.
Yeah. Because I actually haven't tested the disc on a PS5. I have one. Here, it doesn't get turned on much. But
yeah, because if your system is capable of 5.1, 7.1, you should be able to get 0.1.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think there's a difference between the 0.1 on the 5.1 versus an Atmos 5.1, right?
No.
That LFE channel, I think, is going to be the same.
It's still encoded the same way. It's still just the LFE.
Because I don't see
a lot of and then just make sure the subwoofer is set to on, because sometimes when people are just doing the call outs, and if the sub is on auto, the signal is not long enough for the subwoofer to be like, hey, there's a signal, or it's on just long enough for the subwoofer to recognize there's a signal, and then it stops, and then the subwoofer turns on. So if you go to what is this?
Turn it up too. It might be that the signal is too low. Turn it all the way. Yeah. Turn it up.
Well, don't turn it all the way up.
Not too crazy.
Go to the periodic pink noise and just do the LFE directly and see, because that's like a 2-minute file of LFE, and see if it works then. If that's the case, then it's just a matter of it was on auto and it needs to be on just needs to be powered on. That's all.
If you also want to test it, if you have an Onkyo with pre-outs. Do they have Onkyo with pre-outs?
Yeah, they should.
Okay, if you have something with pre-outs, maybe you can try to plug your subwoofer, the RCA, into, let's say, the left output, right, for the left speaker, and then play the test tone for left and see if it's making any sound from your sub. Just make sure it's not your LFE. If you're receiving, signal to your LFE when you're going through the test tones in the Onkyo, then you got to figure out why. Maybe it's a setting on your PS5 or something.
Well, we'll see. Here's the thing. And what a lot of people are not understanding, when you send test tones in the AVR, whereas like somebody's like, hey, I played the test call out on your disc, and I'm not getting the high channels that are coming out of the side surrounds, whatever, or the ear level speakers. When you're sending test tones from the AVR itself, it is not engaging Atmos. That AVR is just taking audio and sending it to that either the pre-out, or it's sending it to that speaker output, the red and white, or red and black. So it's not activating Atmos. That's the difference between the test tones in the AVR and ones on our disc. It's just sending a tone. So when you play, so think about this. If the AVR on a test tone will send it to the right speaker, but our disc is sending that front height left to something else, that means your shit's broken, because it's not activating Atmos. The AVR sending a test tone is just directly sending it to that speaker. Boop, 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 boop. It's not activating Atmos. So another thing, or another reason why, like, I was just thinking about this, we're now at a point where this is the only tool to actually make sure your Atmos system is doing what it should be doing. And if something is being sent to the wrong speaker all the time, then something's wrong with your AVR and how it's decoding Atmos. And you wouldn't know that if you ran the test tones in the AVR, because it's not activating Atmos. It's just sending a sound to a speaker. So it's pretty interesting thinking about all this stuff the last like week or two.
Yeah. So what I like though is what you're saying. If something's not working, it's don't think it's the disc, right? We're just playing test tones, to various speakers. It might be that you just didn't realize that everything you've been playing has not been activating that LFE. Maybe. I'm not sure exactly what's going on.
Like it could be a whole bunch of different things. You're not getting our height channels from our disc. Maybe your something did an update and it's not, your Blu-ray player is not doing bitstream anymore, or your AVR is set to auto update and it changed the setting somewhere and you're not getting the sound. Like, all these things happen. And now we finally have a product where actually you can check to make sure it's doing the right thing. And if something, like, God forbid, if something's actually wrong with your AVR and it's been wrong for how many ever months you've had it, or years you've had it, and you're like, oh shit, this shit's been fucked up, I didn't even know, I want to get my money back. You can't now. Been too long. You had no idea. This is the only thing on the planet that will make sure your shit sounds right. It's pretty remarkable. Like, I've been literally thinking about this because I've been dealing with some customer service. This guy is like, no, the speakers are wired right. And then he's like, okay, I redid everything. He redid all the wiring from his pre-pro. And he's like, okay, so now these speakers are sounding correctly, but now it's the middle heights that are coming out of the rear heights. I was just like, oh shit, okay. Well, normally the middle heights will play rear height and front height if you don't have a middle height. So maybe, I don't know. Is it the pre-pro might have a terminal for it, but doesn't actually decode it? I don't know. It's an older pre-pro, so I'm not sure. It's kind of crazy. You're just thinking about all the little things that could go wrong in the system, understanding that maybe something's actually wrong with the way it's being decoded in the AVR. We have no way to test that until now. And so I think we might even see, like, AVR companies, we got to hold these people accountable for, like, hey, this shit's not working right. And, obviously it's not. One of the things that Joe said the other day was like, look, out of the like 700 or some orders we had for this, if it doesn't work for like a handful of people, it's not this. It's not this at all. If there's something is wrong with your system somewhere, right? And we don't know. You got to go down the troubleshooting thing, right? And especially in the periodic peak noise, you can see the level meter and you can see which speaker it's going to. So that's it.
Yeah.
And that's in the advanced section. So, you have 9.1.6, you want to test every single speaker out, go to the section. And if it's playing out of the wrong speakers, something is wrong with your system somewhere. We don't know where.
We should do like an extra thing. You know what I mean? If you want us to troubleshoot, this is a whole different.
If you need tech support, call Paul.
There you go. You want to set up a new business?
Yeah, Paul. There it is. Ka-ching.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, that's kind of what the Discord is for also, though. So we have a Discord for owners. And so you can go in there, and what we hope to happen is we hope that people will help each other out, right? So if somebody has helped you out in the Discord group, maybe the next time somebody's new and they come in and ask a similar question to what you asked, maybe you can go and help that person, right? So we're building a little community there. It's a pretty good community, pretty good size community in the Discord group. And we all try to help each other out there. But again, don't expect somebody to, spend hours trying to troubleshoot your specific issue. It's a toolkit because it's made for you to figure things out, right? It's just a toolkit, right? It doesn't do anything by itself, right? You may figure out, hey, my sub doesn't turn on quick enough. Okay, well, that's something that you have to figure out, right? Do you need to turn up the gain somewhere so that it receives a signal faster? It's just that it tells you what's happening, right? It doesn't fix it. That's still up to you to fix the issue.
If you're interested in joining us in the after show, you can visit patreon.com/daily HiFi. We'd love to hang out with you and get to know you better. We're going to have a lot of fun.